Again, it's the 5th annual SIU Day of Giving. What a great start to this live stream. Folks, we are nearing $1 million in gifts, nearly 1,000 donors. It is so overwhelming, the support we're getting. So thank you for your support. We ask continue to step up for those of you who haven't. And I hope you've enjoyed the programming today. Right now, we're going to transition to a really exciting part of our university research. And with us, we have Dr. Gary Kinsell, who's the interim vice chancellor for research and a renowned chemistry professor. So Gary, welcome, and tell us about research at SIU.
Well, thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. On a grand scale, I definitely could fill up way more than 15 minutes talking about research. We have so much going on. There's all this amazing research, creative activity, and scholarly work that our faculty and students are engaged in. Starting with students in the SIU Creative Writing Program, who along with Dr. Pinckney Benedict and the SIU Press have been producing a wonderful series of spots for WSIU known as the Blanket Fort Radio. These stories show off the amazing creativity and talent of our students in this program. There's also the series of videos entitled Momentum, the SIU magazine that has been put together by students and faculty in the Department of Cinema and Department of Radio, Television, and Digital Media. These spots, aired on WSIU and other PBS stations, have highlighted a number of faculty and student research projects on campus, along with a number of stories related to the history of Southern Illinois and the university. We've also had phenomenal success in the sciences and engineering. This last year, 2 of our younger faculty received extremely prestigious National Science Foundation Career Awards. Dr. Pravis Daria in the School of Chemical and Biomolecular Sciences received his award for a project entitled SUSCHEM, Framework Topology Dependent Photophysical Properties of Chromophore Assemblies Within Metal Organic Framework. And Dr. Arash Komai in the School of Electrical, Computer, Biomedical Engineering received his award for a project entitled Design Optimization and Feedback Control of Non-Contact Magnetic Manipulators. Both of these projects are 5-year awards that engage graduate and undergraduate students in the performance of the proposed work. These are just the latest 2 faculty to receive this prestigious NSF Career Award. We've had nearly a dozen of these awards in the last 15 years. I could also highlight some of the incredible contributions our students and faculty have made in the fight against the COVID-19 virus. There's a wonderful documentary put together by Greg Wendt in the Center for Teaching Excellence that tells the story of how doctors Scott Hamilton-Brem, Yoko Kongyufka, Matt Geisler, and Andrew Wood, along with a group of really dedicated undergraduate and graduate students, stepped up last summer to produce over 100,000 vials of viral transport media for the state of Illinois. This heroic effort allowed the state to begin large-scale testing for the virus much earlier than would have been possible without the contributions of these students. This documentary is also revealing in that it shows how important student involvement in these kinds of research and creative activities really is, and how beneficial these experiences can be to their future careers. I have a clip of the documentary that illustrates this better than I can say.
It is April 2020. Southern Illinois University, like most universities around the world, is quiet. Offices and hallways are largely empty. Classes have gone online and only essential personnel come to campus. But one lab in microbiology is not quiet at all. Professors, students, staff, and volunteers have jumped all in to create tens of thousands of vials of the viral transport medium, or VTM, necessary for testing for coronavirus.
It's all starting with an email from the Higher Education of Illinois asking for help.
After scouring the campus for resources and contacting vendors for needed supplies, a team of professors from the School of Biological Sciences committed to producing 40,000 tubes of the viral transport medium in 4 weeks. Their first task? Deliver 10,000 vials in 1 week. Students played a key role in making sure the production process stayed on track. From freshmen to seniors, from graduate students to research assistants, the desire to help and to learn was a powerful engine that was critical to fulfilling daily and weekly deadlines.
The average person doesn't know how much work it takes to create even 1,000 vials of this viral transport medium.
Trevor Murphy is a master's student studying microbiology, biochemistry, and molecular biology.
I came here as an undergrad. I ended up working in the lab of Dr. Hamilton Bream, and throughout my tenure there, he invited me on to stay as a master's student.
Trevor has been Dr. Hamilton Bream's right-hand man from the beginning of the VTM efforts.
I do a lot of the volunteer coordination. I oversee a lot of the production stuff. I also do a lot of the formulation and dispensing of the media, as well as make sure it's all set up and ready to go to be shipped to Springfield.
My lieutenants are my own grad students. I trained each and one of them how to do the calculations, how to make the media, how to be exercise the aseptic technique. So I trust them. I know what their skills are. I know how they handle themselves in the labs. And then from them, my lieutenants, they are managing and training other people. Volunteers are coming from other departments of the university.
My colleague Danielle and I we need to do science stuff, and staying home and not being able to be in our labs or do anything like that, it was just making us go crazy. So we found out about being able to help in this lab, and we were just like, this is perfect. We can, participate in the lab and do something that benefits everybody.
Michelle Garnett is a graduate student in the Public Health Master's Program who also received her bachelor's degree in social work from SIUC.
I know that public health is what I want to do because I want to be able to service the community. That I do have a passion for community service.
So what did we just do?
We finished. The last of the 115,000 vials.
Illinois has made important and measurable progress in growing our daily test numbers. It's because of the great work of IDPH and its lab professionals, our in-state research university partners, and many others working collaboratively across the public and private sectors.
Certainly it elicits a little bit of SIU pride, the fact that I'm able to be a part of a team. I'm going to be an alumni here soon, and I can look back in the future and say, hey, I was a part of that. SIU was the one that answered the call.
Role of research, but what really stuck out there was the role of students and our undergraduates. Let's talk about that.
Well, that's right, Matt. One of the things that's really important here at SIU is the involvement of our students in undergraduate research and the faculty mentoring that the faculty here do. This is a really unique thing that comes from being at a doctoral research university. And I'm sure many of our alumni can remember times when they did some kind of undergraduate research or creative activity here, which made a difference in terms of their future. So I'm sure it's an important thing. So
Really incredible. So let's talk about how alumni can help. I know there's a lot going on in research. Talk about how private support can make a difference.
Well, what we really need, frankly, is the alumni to step up and help us with providing funding for an endowment so that we can support undergraduate research through what are called undergraduate research assistantships. It's been a goal of mine over the years to try to create something like this, and I would love if we could get our alumni to help us out with that.
Again, that's supporting undergraduates in research. And that, Gary, that makes SIU different from the other universities. It puts us in the real elite category. I'm going to go a little off script here, if you don't mind, but this past year we had an extraordinary year in terms of our research grants our faculty brought home.
Yeah, well, of course, we go by fiscal year, but in fiscal year 20, we had over $65 million worth of research grants that came into our institution along with the School of Medicine. That's an incredible success story. It's supporting faculty and students. And I like to mention to our community members, much of that money goes directly into the region and the community through salaries. And so it's beneficial in multiple ways.
And much like we saw with the COVID, that research turns into a betterment for society. We've got a cool project going on over McClafferty.
Yep.
Want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'll just be very brief. But the McClafferty Research Annex is an annex that was constructed initially to house the books from when the library was being renovated. And once those books were taken out, that annex was targeted for conversion into an interdisciplinary research facility. And so initially we had an ultra-fast laser spectroscopy lab there. The Center for Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences is over there, and the Fermentation Science Institute is over there. But there's still 30,000 square feet that we have to develop into additional interdisciplinary research opportunities. And so I think I have a clip here that I can show that shows just a little bit better what that facility is all about. So if you don't mind.
Sure. And again, that is something, well, let's take a look.
Southern Illinois University Carbondale, in partnership with the Illinois Innovation Network, is pleased to announce the establishment of the Illinois Food Entrepreneurship Research and Manufacturing Hub, known as iFirm. When completed, this enormous facility will bring together visionaries in a multitude of disciplines for the benefit of the region and the entire state. The iFirm Hub aims to solve challenges in food, nutrition, agriculture, and health through interdisciplinary research and education. The iFirm Hub will provide infrastructure focused on helping develop value-added products and supporting entrepreneurial activities that harness the intellectual strength of our university and community and local businesses to drive the progress and boost economic growth.
And now we'll take a quick walk through and look at the facilities and how we're actually using those. So here we have the offices and laboratories for the Fermentation Science Institute that support the unique needs of our BS degree in fermentation science and support of fermentation research on campus. Here we have the Instrumentation Laboratory, which is part of our laboratory that is certified by the Federal Tax and Trade Bureau for analysis of beer, wine, and distilled spirits. And then we have our Microbiology Laboratory that is used for working with yeast and bacteria. It's a great resource to help not only in teaching students, but working with industry and businesses in the state. This is our tasting room that we use for tasting activities and sensory work. We also use it as a general teaching space and for hosting workshops for the community and industries in the region.
The Fermentation Science Institute has already had a significant impact on fermentation business in the state, with more than 50 clients being served in various capacities, including helping new businesses launch new products into the marketplace and meeting regulatory requirements.
So this is the main part of the facility, and this is the main part of the project that will be the iFirm Hub. We plan to leave the inside very open and industrial look, and in the inside spaces we'll have places for collaboration. We'll be able to host receptions and events. On the left, we'll have the facility that will be fleshed out with the teaching kitchen, the sensory laboratory, distillery operations, and then that will go into the production brewery that we have in a partnership with Ravinia. On the right, we have the core facilities that will be finished out for an analytical core facility and biocore facilities that will support not only the activities for the programs within the building, but also all of campus and the region. And now we're going to go into the future value-added agriculture facility that will house the Fay Minor McGill teaching kitchen, which will be in this space. Those will serve a really important function both within the university for teaching and research purposes, but also be a resource for regional businesses. And in this space, we will have the placement of the distillery. The distillery will be on the inside, but we'll have windows. So from the outside, the public will be able to look in and see the activity. We have a lot of interest in having windows to break down the barriers between the science that's being conducted behind the walls and the perception of science with the public. Building out the infrastructure will enable us to bring in Ravinia Brewing Company, a company out of Chicago that has made a commitment to place a full production facility in the building. In addition to the commitment to place a full production brewery into the facility, Ravinia Brewing has agreed to place their 4-barrel brewing system so that we can operate that as a student-run production facility. And we're really excited about that, and we're trying to fast-track its operation by placing that
into what we call a phase 0 concept so that we can get it operational while we wait for construction over the next 1 to 2 years for the construction phase. This will allow students to have access that are currently in the program instead of waiting. And just around the corner, we have the Center for Fisheries, Aquaculture, and Aquatic Sciences. Established in 2016, state-of-the-art aquaria facilities were constructed, including plans for a display aquarium that also serves as a window into the Aquatic Center, showcasing world-class research being conducted there.
Okay, well, Matt, I hope that video gives you a real good taste of what we're trying to do in the McLafferty Annex. And I guess that's sort of a pun, but it is something that we're really trying to accomplish here. And this facility, I think, has the opportunity to become a nexus for interdisciplinary research across campus, bringing together faculty that from science and engineering, even the humanities, to work on research related to sustainability and food sustainability, value-added products. And I'll tell you, more recently, we've inserted into this facility a business development annex as one of the planned developments. So we also see this as a way to bring the university together with business and industrial interest in the Southern Illinois region.
It is so. Gary, I'm reminded, I think 20 years ago, there were 10 breweries in the country. Today, there's over 8,000. Every town wants to have a brewery. So our fermentation science program is truly one of the best in the country, in a leading role. Yeah, as you've come on to lead our research, I've been so impressed. We've been so with the work you've done.
Well, thank you.
Talk about, and you mentioned the 69 million. Where are we going? What are your plans for research here at Carbondale?
Well, that's an interesting question. You get into a little bit of the weeds here, but we are what's designated as an R2 university, which means high research activity. And that designation comes from the Carnegie Foundation. And what I would very much like to see us accomplish is to see us get ourselves up into the R1 category. This is the same category that universities like the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, University of Chicago are in. We are within sight of reaching the necessary metrics to be able to achieve that goal. And we really could move this forward with the support of our alumni. There is no question about that. They could help us enormously.
So things like that undergraduate support fund, things like our facility enhancement,
right?
Perhaps startup packages to recruit faculty, retain great faculty.
Yeah, and all of that. I mean, for the McLafferty Annex, for example, one of the great opportunities for our alumni to participate in the development of that facility is that many times we take these dollars that we get from the alumni and we go out and we seek matching fundings from the state or the federal government. And so we get to amplify that donation of the alumni 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3. We're going to be able to bring in more dollars to be able to support the construction and make the facility grow faster and become a more supportive facility for not only the faculty, but the entire region.
It's spectacular. And you think about, again, the opportunities for our undergraduate students to get involved in cutting edge research here on our campus. You don't find that at a lot of other universities around. We're here to talk about Carbondale, but it's so part of the excitement. And every time I talk to you, you get excited. We can see it. There's such opportunity.
Well, I'll tell you a little story, Matt, because this is, I think, is relevant, and we got a couple of seconds here. I was the chair of chemistry for a long time, and I used to meet with prospective students and their parents on a regular basis. And of course, you're trying to recruit them to the university, and you'd come in and you'd tell them about the great program and the beautiful campus and all the great facilities. But the thing that really made the difference was when we talked about how the student, if they came to SIU, could get involved in real impactful, nationally supported research with doctoral degree faculty. This made an enormous difference. I saw heads turn left and right on a regular basis. And I know for a fact, we have students that entered our program because of those research opportunities. And I used to tell the students, SIU is kind of the Goldilocks size. We're big enough to have these opportunities, but we're small enough that all of our students can actually get involved if that's what they want to do. It's a great place to be if you're interested in research. There's no question.
So folks, again, it's on across. You can see the address on the screen right here. Gary, we ask that everybody or folks listening now go to the giving page. There is a drop down for supporting research. Let's help our great faculty. Let's help this incredible leader right here provide those resources that are going to continue to enable us to build our research enterprise.
Thanks, Matt. I really do appreciate your support, and I really appreciate whatever support our alumni can provide. What I can say is I guarantee you we will put it to good use. There's no doubt about that.
So again, it's siuday.siu.edu. Please go right now. Look for the research, support Gary in his efforts. You'll see an incredible impact. You'll be part of the, we'll call it the Kinsill kind of operation going forward. We're going to continue to make research here even greater than it's been before, and its role of having an incredible impact on our society. Gary, thanks for joining us. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Matt.